Baba. Milkshake is good. Okie dokie, right. There we go. Twitch should be sorting itself out as we speak. Let's get my alert box fired up so I can see if anything happens and make sure I can see the chat in case anybody actually turns up and says hello. Here we go. Right, figured I should start trying to schedule things. I've already got World of Tanks on Friday nights scheduled out, and this is going to be a really little short stream in terms of twitching. Oh, excuse me, just had my dinner. What I figure I'd do, I did this once before on a previous YouTube channel, which I won't mention. Hello, Zero. And then I started another version of it when I started my new channel, which I wasn't too pleased with. It was good, but it took a lot of editing, and I wasn't able to produce them sort of consistently. So I decided what I'm going to do is Thursday nights, roughly 9 o'clock, half an hour, I'm going to do what I call Derpy Rambles, which is basically where I sit down and talk about stuff for about half an hour, because I'm perfectly capable of sitting rambling, but I'm also going to play a game. Let's get this fired up so you've got something to look at on the screen rather than just me nattering on. I might even turn the volume down slightly so it's not too overbearing. I think that should do it. Hello, Zero, by the way. Wasn't expecting anybody to pop in. Oh! Do I still play Armour? There's a good question. No. is going to be the easiest one way to answer that. I'm probably not going to be playing Armour for a while. It's one of the things I wanted to sort of touch on my little Derpy Rambles thing, which is why I made a point of casting it out to Twitter and various things. No, I'm probably not going to be playing Armour still for the foreseeable. I'm planning to, as I said when I first started twittering about my stream, is trying to start scheduling things a little bit more, get a little bit more regular on YouTube, get a little bit more regular on Twitch, so when people do come looking for derpy stuff, I've actually done something rather than people having a look and me being really inconsistent, which I have been since I've been doing my YouTube channel. You've probably noticed a bunch of my stuff's gone missing recently, and I've not been playing Armour, and I've been really inconsistent in the way I play games as well. That is something which isn't entirely going to change. That's just part of me and who I am. And if you want to follow me, you're just going to have to put up with it. It's going to be utterly random. That tends to be how my life is, unfortunately. But I'm going to try and be consistent with this Derpy Rambles thing. I'm going to try and make some more content more consistently, even though you're not going to know what it is. Hell, I don't even know what it is half the time. But that's sort of why I thought I'd try and bring back the Derpy Rambles thing. But I thought I'd broadcast it live on Twitch, so anybody wants to ask me stuff, or if anybody hops into my chat I'm sitting in at the moment, if you can find me, comes in and speaks to me, I can get it all live. And I think I've mucked up the sound here because I'm not sure it's running properly. I don't know whether you've actually got the game sound or not. Seems to be working all right. But yeah, I figured I should probably try and explain boat on fire, what my Derpy Rambles kind of concept thing is. It's literally just me talking for give or take half hour. I started off doing them 10-minute videos a long time ago when I had a different YouTube channel, which was a Minecraft YouTube channel. I did other things then, but I've sort of progressed, and I think I've grown up. Well, I say I've grown up. The channel that I now run has grown up, and one of the things I am going to be doing, not only hopefully the Derpy Rambles blog thing or vlog thing once a week. I'm planning to do mine once a week, but I've been invited to I think they called it a podcast where we talk about similar stuff. That's going to be happening sooner or later, and I'll let people know when I start doing that. So, shot that guy. I'll let people know when I start doing that. What else are we doing? So we're doing the Derpy Rambles. We're doing tanks on Friday nights. I'm going to try and be a bit more consistent with YouTube, making content for that. Although that does take a long time to make the Soviet Womble style stuff where stuff pops up on the screen and it's all animated and annotated. It does take a long time, but it's worth it because I think it looks really good. The other thing I wanted to talk about was I do quite a lot of tech stuff, and I've not really mentioned that on my YouTube channel. But I'm quite a fan of building computers. and I follow a heck of a lot of people who do build computers. And if you've ever talked to me, you know I love my computer specs. I'm always asking people what they're running, always going into what I'm running. Everything I've got is overclocked to the nines. It's running far faster than it should do. Some of it shouldn't even work. I don't know how I've managed it, but it does. I'm probably about to get myself killed here as well by the look of it. We should be alright. I'm playing World of Warship Ranked, by the way, if anybody's interested. Figured I'd try and get myself the pirate flag, which is what you get if you hit rank 1, but it's never happened. I've got to rank 5 before, I think. Anyway, yeah, I figured I'm going to start doing a little bit of tech stuff as well. So what I decided to do when I say I got my Christmas money, I didn't get my Christmas money. The job I do works a bit strange. I end up getting paid 13 times a year rather than 12, so I get I get like paid twice in 1 month at some point. So when I got my wages this month, because I'm going to get it again 2 weeks time, I think it is 3 weeks time, 2 weeks time. I decided I was going to do not so much an upgrade of my computer, because it's constantly being upgraded, but I'm going to do a rebuild of my computer, and I'm going to vlog it. I figured what I'd do is I'm probably not going to put so much of that on Twitch. It's going to be filmed, and it's going to step by step go onto my YouTube in its own private little place, so to speak. It's going to have its own playlist of like tech stuff, rather than it being the top of the main channel. But I'm going to go through the process of doing that, various different things I do to it, and it's going to be a long project as well, because I've got a few things in mind for it. I might even go custom water cooler. You got a new computer, Zero. That's pretty cool. What did you get, dude? Because as I say, I love that stuff, so let me know what you've got. I still have, if you're wondering, I still haven't quite worked out this Twitch delay thing I've got going on. I've dropped the delay down, but I seem to be getting quite a big delay still anyway, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But yeah, but I'm going to be rebuilding mine, and I've got some interesting things in mind for it. Things that I'm not sure are going to work, things that probably shouldn't work, and stuff that I just want to try because I can. And I've got the basis of a system. Well, I've already got quite a good system anyway. It's not going to hurt to have a bit more stuff done to it and a few extra bits and bobs here and there, because you know you can never have too much with a can I make it round here? Right. You can never have too much with a computer. I mean, if you're anything like me, you probably spend a bit too much on it. Or if you know me, should I say, you know I spend far too much on computer stuff. But I don't particularly see there's anything wrong with it, because it's my hobby. I mean, everybody's got a hobby. Mine just happens to be, I wouldn't even say it's wasting money, just spending a lot of money on my computer. I do a similar sort of thing whereby I spend quite a bit of money on my car as well. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I'm not saving anything, because one of my things I'd quite like to do at some point is have a mortgage rather than rent from somebody. But it's a hobby, and it gets quite a lot of time and effort put into it. It comes off the back of the YouTube and playing a lot of games, but at the same time, hey, I got a kill. Also, just noticed I've stopped. HP Omen. Ooh, that rings a bell. HP Omen. I was looking at something like that the other day. I'm gonna have to hang on. Let me oh, my phone's flat at the moment. Give it a second to fire up. It's plugged into the computer, so it should be charging. I'll look that up. But I think I know the one you're talking about. I'm pretty sure, because I've been looking at really odd cases. Yeah, pre-build's fine, dude. As long as it's what you want and it does what you want, pre-build is fine. I've got nothing wrong with pre-build at all. If you said you just bought a new console, I might have something else to say about it, because I'm not a fan of consoles at all. But no, pre-build's cool. There's nothing wrong with a pre-build. If it does what you want it to do and you're happy with it, then you know that's the main thing. But I'm pretty sure I know what HP Omen is. Let me give me 2 seconds. Get my phone here. Oh, turning. There we go. You should be all right. Let's see. I'm pretty sure, because I was, as I say, I was looking for new cases and things recently, and I found a. I'll tell you in a second what I've. HP Omen. So, have you got the laptop HP Omen, or are we talking? Because that seems to come up with a lot of laptops. Is it a laptop? You got a gaming laptop? Hello, honey. Turn the other way. hammer. In there. Here and hide. Yeah, let us know what type of HP you've got, because I wouldn't mind having a look, because I'm a nosy beggar. I love talk about tech stuff, and then I'll go into what I'm planning in my head. Ooh, nice, 7,700. Is that 7,700k? I'm guessing if you can't be bothered building it yourself. Oh, it's desktop. It's a desktop one. Okay, so it's not one that's come up that I've just googled. My phone is obviously be rubbish. Hang on. 7,700k. Oh, 7,700. I kind of want a 1080 Ti. Oh yeah, that is one of the ones I looked at. That case. The reason I looked at that was because I'm sort of looking for funky cases, or I found a really funky case, hopefully, to build my new computer in, and it's cost me an arm and a leg. It's not turned up yet. I'm a bit annoyed about it, to be honest. I won't tell you who I got it from, but basically I paid something like £42 to have it delivered New Year's Eve, and it didn't turn up. And then they told me 2 days later that it's going to turn up this Sunday. And I was like, what? Making burgers? I just had burgers. Oh, he's gone. Ooh, bit of a hairy moment here. Why stay behind this? Yeah, I thought he was torpedoed at me. Turn, Derp, turn! Use the sunken ship as cover. Yeah, see, exactly, the cube case. That's what I was looking for, because my case at the moment, Honeybee knows what I've got, because her other half, Cammy, or Ben, or however he wants to be known by today, he's got the same case as I do. It's a big, huge, sort of, it's like a double tower cube thing. You just got a barbecue going now, honey. Omen's on his way to steal your burgers. Hey, another kill for Derp. Is that 2 kills I've got? 2 kills for Derp. Wicked. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, my case is massive, and I like it. It's got loads of room. You can build really well in it. You build all sorts of stuff. I've got a all-in-one water cooler for the processor in there. I've got, well, up until recently I had 2 graphics. Trude. I had 2 graphics cards in there. I've got umpteen hard drives. I've got a couple of SSDs. Got me optical drive on my CD drive. If you don't get the optical drive reference, it's got a few other bits and pieces in there. It's got a fan controller. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Corsair fans. They're not static pressure, they're the airflow ones, so you can adjust them. PWM fans. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it. It's got a lot of gear in it, and I think I'm about to die from this torpedo, because I'm not sure I can cope with taking another torpedo. Please turn. Please turn. Please turn. Oh, that's butt clenchingly tight. Right, okay, survived that one. What's next? You bombed him, that's good. We're still okay for the moment. More friggin' torpedoes. Piss off! Ah, cock, that one's got me. Ow. Right. Pesky aircraft carrier is the last thing alive on their team. If we can put some holes in it. Was indeed a close one. Yeah, so as I was saying, my Corsair 540 case is huge. It's got loads of stuff in it. Great case, really love it, but it's kind of, I've always felt it was too big. It bugs me, it's too big. I've worked on the Corsair 240, which is about half the size. It's a much better built case. I'm assuming they built the Corsair 240 later. The dust filters on it are a lot nicer. It's just the way it goes together is a lot nicer. It's got the same kind of capacity for stuff, apart from you have to use a mini ATX motherboard in it. But it's just a lot nicer case to work on. And I had in mind I was going to get one of those. I was going to move my system over. I was just going to compact it all. And then I thought, well, if I'm going to build a new system, I might as well do something a bit bonkers with it. I'll go out of my way to make it custom, because we won. I'm perfectly capable of building a custom computer. Excellent. Rank 10. First league badge. That means everything's going to get more difficult now, doesn't it? Okay, we can cope with that though. Awesome. Yeah. So what I've done, and you can Google this one. I might actually put a yeah. Go for it. Post a link, dude. You should be able to post a link. What I'm going to do is, and you can Google this, and honey, if you wouldn't mind in your listening, if that's all right, darling, if you could look up a deep cool tristellar and put a post to a picture of that in the chat, that'd be really cool. I've bought myself a deep cool tristellar. There's TRISTELLAR case. It's the SW version. It's got windows on it, and I mean windows by like tempered glass windows, tempered glass panels, rather than actual like operating system windows, which I really wish I didn't have to use. But we'll get onto that in a minute. Let's have a look. Flagship HP premium computer. Is it that case that I think it is? That's all right. I'll oh yeah, that's the case I was looking at. Yeah, that's the case I was looking at. Hang on. I have to leave the game. Sorry, it's just going to go quiet for a second. Where's the tristellar with the windows? Okay, so this isn't the one I bought. Well, it is the one I bought, but I didn't pay this much for it because that's really expensive. But that link I've just placed there, Zero, I was really tempted to go for the case you've got because I think that looks awesome. But yeah, the link I've just posted there, I saw this thing, and when I saw it, I knew I had to have it. It's a really odd looking case. From what I understand, it's a real pig to build in as well, so I'm probably going to regret this when I get the thing. But I've bought a few other bits and pieces to be getting on with when I get it, so I can transfer my system over straight away, because I've got a friend of mine, Sean, who's having a few of the parts out of my PC as it stands at the moment. Sort of when I get rid of mine, or when I upgrade mine, he's going to have a few of the bits out of it, because his thing is, hello Sean, his thing's on its last leg. So what I've done, I've bought that case, which should be turning up soon. I am then going to gut it entirely and build my own computer inside it, and probably not use any of the standard mounting points that they've given you. What I'm planning to do, I'm going to have two graphics cards in this thing in the top bay, but I'm going to realign them, because if you look at the case, I don't know if there's a picture there with a graphics card in the top bit, but the graphics card sits too low. It kind of bugs me that it's not central in the window, so I'm going to realign that. I've got to use a ITX motherboard because it's a very small form case, so I'm going to have to do some jiggery pokery to run a second graphics card. I'm going to be running, at the moment I've only got a 1060. I am going to save my pennies up and buy myself some sort of form of 1080. But I am also, in the meantime, I'm going to have a 1050 Ti as a second graphics card. And it's just going to be used for encoding and rendering. That's just going to be sole use. It's not going to be plugged into anything other than the motherboard, which is going to be interesting because of the way I've got to do it, which I will explain again in a minute. We'll get onto that one. I've got a 6 SSD RAID array, which I've got an order for it, which is going to go in one side of it, and then I'm going to have the motherboard, and I've worked out how to run a push-pull RAD on this thing. It's not all going to fit inside, so the bit with the motherboard is going to have a radiator sticking out the top of it, which should look quite cool when it's done. But when I first get it, it's going to be utterly gutted, and I'm just going to put the base system in. It's going to have wires and all sorts of stuff hanging off of it. But the cool thing about it is, alright, it's a weird looking shape, and it's a cool looking shape, and it's crazy cool. It really does look cool for a computer. I'm going to have it sit on the desk next to me, because I've never had that with a computer. I've always stuffed them away under the desk, and I want to look at this thing because it looks awesome. So yeah, I'm going to build this bonkers computer, have it sit on the desk next to me. And what I've also done, I've also bought myself a camcorder, because I've been thinking about getting a webcam for ages, so I can go down that whole sort of streamy route. But I figured if I've crashed into somebody because I'm not paying attention, too busy chatting about computers. Yeah, I figured if I start doing this bit of tech stuff as well on the side, because I do know quite a bit of tech stuff. I'm more hardware than software, but it's not going to hurt to film it. People are going to be interested, and I've always said about YouTube and everything, and Sean can attest to this, is if you find something interesting, other people are going to find it interesting too. So don't ever feel like you shouldn't put it on YouTube. So does Google, yeah. Don't ever feel like you shouldn't put it on YouTube. Like, if you find something interesting, you like it, somebody else will. Doesn't matter if it's the most obscure thing in the world. There'll be other people that want to look at it. But yeah, so I figured what I'd do, I'm gonna kind of video blog this thing with this camera, and I'm gonna set it up so I can use it as a webcam as well. But I'm gonna set it up so I can have it set up while I'm working on the computer and sort of explain the really odd stuff that I'm doing with it to other people. Because I've got some strange things in mind for this thing. It's not going to be a standard computer by any means. It's going to be a really odd looking thing. The upshot of it is Sean's going to get himself a Z170 motherboard, 8GB of DDR4 and a Intel i3 processor for fuck all off of me, cheeky fucker. But he is Northern, so you can forgive him that. Hello Minion Citizen, thanks for the lurk, dude. But yeah, that's going to be what I'm going to be building. It's going to be a clusterfuck. Of course it's going to be a clusterfuck. I'm fucking building it, Sean. What do you expect? But I'm hoping it's going to be good, and it'll be interesting, and it will keep me occupied, so to speak. And it's going to give me something that I can do like regular content on, even if I do a shitload of work on it in a week. What I figure I'm going to do, I'm just going to space it out. So I'm going to have a video sort of like maybe once a week on this thing. Won't be any particular time, but maybe once a week you'll get a video of my slightly odd computer build and a little bit of an update as to what I'm doing with it and where I'm heading with the thing. Am I going to get to torpedo this guy? I'm not sure I'm going to get the corner right. Alright, he's going to beach himself. That's interesting. Yeah, he's actually beached himself. Interesting. Okay. Let's see if I can get the... Oh no. Don't let him ram you! Don't let him ram you! Don't let him ram you! Oh, really? We just lost a full health battleship because that... I'm not single. Fuck off, Sean. But yeah, Zero. I'm hoping it's going to be awesome as well. It's got the... Oh dear. This is a stupid position to get into, Derp. It's got all the I don't know, the capability to be all awesome, but yeah. That's the thing. I'm kind of half tempted to build it separately, but at the same time I want to give Sean the stuff I've got so he can come and play decent games with me and not whine about the performance. That's not the real reason I'm doing it. I wanted to build this thing for ages, and to be honest, I can't 100% afford to build another system entirely, so I need to use bits out of what I've already got. It just so happens it happens to be a bonus that Sean's going to get some free kit off me because of it, which, you know, why not? Why the fuck not? I've known him for freaking years, probably my oldest friend, and as he says, I haven't got responsibilities and stuff, so it might as well benefit from it. I am getting the shit kicked out of me. That's it, you sink, you bastard. Have some torpedoes. Put some holes in this thing and all. Come on, guns. There we go. So it's not going overly well though, because we're now like, what, 4 ships down, and I'm getting beaten the snot out of. Keep shooting at this guy. Oh, and I'm about to run aground as well because I've cocked up because I'm not paying attention again. Come on. Yeah, I know you can play decent PC games, Sean. I'm just mucking with you, dude. But I'm sure you'd like to have a PC that doesn't, like, heat the house up and use all of your power when you turn it on. Because these new Intel chips certainly don't. Ah, go away! Leave me alone! Stop blowing holes in my ship! Ah, torpedoes as well, for goodness sake. I think that's what, 2, 3 maybe? Might be lucky and only get 1. Nah, didn't have enough health points to cover it. Didn't do too bad though, 60k's worth of damage, 4 torpedoes in. Yeah, I'll take that. It is a hot old beastie. AMDs are hot. I mean, it's just a case of that they just kept refreshing the AMD stuff. I don't know what the new Ryzen or Threadripper stuff's like, but to be honest, where I went from AMD over to Intel, the difference was really night and day. And I bought basically, I think it was at the time, it was the latest but most basic Intel chip in the i3 range. It's a 6100, so it's a 6th gen, but it was one of the lowest i3s you could get until you drop down to like the G series Pentiums, or like is it G series or Core Duo? Basically the Pentium series where there are only 2 cores and they're not hyper-threaded or anything. The basically my i3 is a 2-core hyper-threaded, so it's like a 4-core, almost like an i5 but not quite. Is that your Omen you're talking about, dude? Give me 2 seconds. Let's quickly message Luby back. Yeah. Sean, Zero's got a 7700 i7 with a 1080 Ti. He posted a link a little. I don't know if you can see this chat. If you scroll up a little bit, you might be able to see it. It's not the exact model, but it's a really cool looking case. It's one of the cases I considered when I was looking for a new case. Lost that battle, back to 11. Damn. Yeah, I mean, this little i7 that Sean's going to be getting off me, it's a blinder of a chip. And what I did was, I was a bit cheeky, and I mucked around with the BIOS and the motherboard. So it's what the motherboard is? It's a really obscure MSI motherboard. It's a MSI SLI, but the normal one people get is the SLI Pro, and it's a different one from the SLI. It's all black, but it's like their basic motherboard. It's a Z170 though. But it's got a really odd BIOS on it. I had to muck around with the BIOS. Basically what I did with the BIOS, I managed to get the non-K series i3 chip to overclock, and I got this thing up to about 4.9 gig. I think I had it 5.1 for a bit, but it wasn't stable. So it's 4.4. I was running at 4.9. I'm going to get it to Sean to run at a 4.5. And standard, hang on, it says on the chip here, I've got it in my hand. Standard, it runs at 3.7 gig. Now I got that to overclock at what, 700 hertz over that, or should I say Sean will be getting it at 700 hertz over that. Two solid cores, and it's 2 hyper-threaded, so it's like almost like a 4-core. Not a bad little chip. And I've benchmarked it, and as standard, before it's overclocked, this chip is about the same as what he's got there. So it should be a little bit quicker than what he's got. It might struggle a little bit because it's not got 8 threads, it's only got 4 threads. But the threads it's got should be faster than what he's already had, so it should make up for the shortfall. And if he gets a little bit of money, he can always throw an i5 in there, which will absolutely stomp all over everything anyway. The only shame really is it's DDR4, and that RAM seems to be stupidly expensive at the moment. So it's probably not going to be able to pick up another 8 gig of RAM for a little while. But you've got 16 gig of RAM in what you've got at the moment, haven't you, Sean? I'm pretty sure you do. Relatively sure you do. But it just, even if it just gives you a base of a system that you can build on, at some point pick up another 8 gig of RAM, maybe a faster chip, maybe a faster GPU. But just as a basis, it'll be a lot better than what you've got. Yeah, I mean, this RAM is... where's the clock speed on it? This RAM is 2133. But I know full well if I do a little bit of jiggery pokery, I can get this up to 2666 Hertz. And there's a bit of a... I know a lot of people say RAM speed doesn't make too much difference, but there's a... there's almost like a stepping stone with RAM speed. 2133, yeah, that's about standard. There's almost a stepping point with RAM speed when you get to... I'm not sure about DDR3, but DDR4, I tested it myself. I had a couple of different kits at one point when I was building PCs for other people. I tested 2133, 2400 Hertz, and 3000 Hertz. And at 2400 Hertz, there seemed to be like a 10 to 15% performance difference. Didn't always translate to like massive frame jump, but I noticed it on my computer. I got about 10 to 15 frames a second better, and like the low end frames was better as well. Like the I think they call it like 1%. Like you get a bit of frame droop in some games sometimes. I mean, you probably don't with a 7700 Ki7 and a 1080 Ti, but most games you'll get a little bit of frame drop when stuff gets a bit heavy. I think they tend to call it like the 1%, where you get like a really bad frame and it comes up really, really awfully. It seemed to improve that, so instead of maybe like 20 frames a second at the lowest point, I was getting, say... I think I just missed there. I was getting 45, which makes a hell of a difference when you're playing a first-person shooter game. And for the main part, I used to play a lot of Armour. And playing Armour, going from what I had was... what did I have? I had a 6-core AMD chip. I think it was an FX 6300. And I changed that out with my 1600Hz RAM. I changed that out to my i3, and my I think my RAM's running at 3 gig now. And I went from with it, and I'm talking an i3 with 8 gig of RAM from a 6-core AMD chip with 16 gig of RAM. I picked up 15 frames a second, and I was able to turn a lot of the settings up as well. And that was on the... What was I using as the graphics card at the time? I used a 970 for a little while. Then I had... Don't ask me why. I had a 750 Ti for a little bit. Wow, there's a lot of fire coming off that Bismarck. Leave me alone. And then I've gone up to a 1060 Ti. Not 1060 Ti, 1060. And I basically, when I built this system as it is now, I built it around like I want to be able to play Armour at a decent 60 frames a second, which for the most part it can do. And I've just about run into another island again. Am I still moving? Have I beached? No, I beached. Fart. Not going well today. But yeah, and your chip's overclocked as well, isn't it, Sean? We got you to tweak it up a little bit. I know you didn't get a lot out of it, but it's a bit quicker than it used to be, isn't it? It's not totally bog standard. Come on, please go forwards. Let's launch some torpedoes there. Yeah. No, I know. I think that's mainly because your motherboard's probably not quite up to what we hoped it would be in terms of overclocking, but that can't be helped. AMD stuff, I mean, to be honest, man, it might have been brand new when you got it 2 years ago, but it was already long in the tooth far before when you got it. I've got that guy? Yes, I have. Just in terms of pure, like, architecture of the chip, it's old. That stuff is old. How long have we been going? We've been rambling for about half hour. What I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to finish this game up, and that's going to be the end of this stream. And I think what I'm going to do, because I know full well my buddy Cuddles is streaming. Is he streaming? Let's have a quick look. Yeah, he's playing Battle Player Unknown at the moment. He's streaming that. I'm going to go and pester him, and I'm going to grab Sean, and I might put the stream back on. I might go and join his stream, but we're going to finish this game off, and we're going to call that the end of the stream, because I've been rambling for about half hour now. I don't want to overdo it. I don't want it to be too much for people to watch on YouTube. But as I said at the start, this is going to be my new slot, I think. 9 o'clock on Thursdays for a bit of a ramble. Half-hour ramble for a start. We might extend it to an hour, and then I'm going to pull it all down. I'm going to stick it onto... Oh dear, getting shot to pieces. And I'm going to stick it onto YouTube as a bit of content for that, so people can keep up what's going on. And in the future, we will go on to such things as to why I'm not playing Armour anymore, and why my visible presence on the internet has changed slightly recently, and such things as like what videos might you see in the future, and why is Derpy called Derpy, and special things like who stole my left sock, because that's important to me, at least. reasons. But yeah, AMD is always been good for budget, and I'm pretty sure the Ryzen stuff is still good for a budget, or still good as budget stuff. I've heard good things about it. I know there's people that do use it and they swear by AMD, and I've got nothing wrong with people swearing by AMD at all. Come on, ship, please turn. And I still think they are good for budget, but having been like used what I did use for so long, I know it's a ramble, dude, that's the whole point of it, but having used what I did use for so long, and then swapping over to Intel, I've missed all those torpedoes. Come on, one of them. None of them. I suck. And, yeah, and then coming over to Intel on what I consider to be quite a low sort of a low end Intel. Ah! Stop shooting holes in my ship. Yeah, what I was saying. What I consider to be quite a low Intel platform. I'm not going to be going back. I think this volley from that Alabama over there is going to kill me off. Yes, I am dead. But yeah, it is a ramble. That's the whole point of it, Sean. And armour is just shit. But we'll go into why armour is just shit next week. I think I might even make a standalone video on that. But hopefully, if you're here at the start and you got the whole of my ramble, you'll kind of understand where I'm going with this. If you didn't, it's going to be uploaded to YouTube possibly tomorrow or over the weekend sometime, so you can have a look and get the gist of it, or look at the VOD off Twitch. As I said, I'm going to tool off now. I'm going to try and grab Sean. I'm going to see if I can get hold of Cuddles. I'm going to message Honey on Discord and see what she wants. And I will catch you in a little bit. I'm going to go for a bit of a break, get something to drink, do all that good stuff. But thank you for turning up for the ramble, those of you who did. Hope you've enjoyed me talking to you really, really loads and rambling for the last half hour or so. But yeah, I'll catch you later, guys. I'm back in a bit.